Hello, my name is Rami Ivers. My topic I will be discussing today is conscious consumerism. Conscious consumerism is understanding all that goes into a product when deciding when to make a purchase, understanding the life cycle of the product, and making your decisions based on that understanding. This enables making positive decisions that have an effect on others and the environment. This is important because the products we consume are ending up in landfills, the ocean, causing a ton of pollution and harming others. The United States is the #1 trash-producing country in the world at 1,609 pounds per person per year. This means that 5% of the world's people generate 40% of the world's waste. Externalities are the unaccounted for costs. Some examples of the externalities of consuming include water degradation, environmental injustice, unethical labor, landfills, and e-waste disposal. We live in a consumer-cultured society where through consumerism, we can express our social, gender, age, class, culture, as well as the inequities in the distribution of capital. Buying stuff confirms our concept of oneself. Society and marketing pressures enable us to buy into things we do not need. We don't buy things, we buy how things make us feel, therefore buying temporary happiness while accumulating stuff. There's no Planet B, so we must start making conscious decisions about what we buy. Here's a graph showing the amount of natural resources the United States consumes compared to 4 other countries. If everyone on the planet lived how we do in the United States, we would need 5 Earths. There are many creative and eco-friendly ways to reuse products, such as thrifting, buying secondhand, and making art out of recycled materials. Here are a few examples of creative ways to reuse items. One thing I like to do is cover plastic containers with fabric to make planter pots. There are many unethical practices in production that go unnoticed, but we can change that. That's why it is important to understand the brands and their supply chains you purchase from. By choosing to buy from ethical sources and other sources that reflect your values, you are voting with your lifestyle. Here are a few brands that are sustainable and ethical: Lush, Patagonia, Tom's, and more. Small and local businesses are important because of the reduction of transportation pollution from not having to travel as far, and they support local communities. Life cycle assessments assess every stage a product goes through from birth to death. It includes the raw materials all the way to the product disposal or recycling of the product. I'm going to go through the life cycle assessment of a toothbrush. The raw materials include polypropylene, which makes up the plastic part, nylon bristles made from carbon-based chemicals, extracted oil, and petroleum. The materials then need to be shipped to the factories. The product then gets manufactured and packaged. The product then gets shipped to the retail business, as well as transportation to the purchaser of the product. The product gets used, and after the toothbrush's life is over, it then gets thrown away. Here are some examples of the unaccounted for costs that come out of the life cycle of a toothbrush: factory pollution, transportation pollution, toothbrushes ending up in the ocean, and toothbrushes adding to landfills. 1 billion toothbrushes are thrown away annually in the United States, so you can imagine how many are being produced annually. Consciously consuming involves buying less as well, understanding the difference between wanting and needing, and then taking action based on that. Helm suggests buying less can actually make us more satisfied and happier. If you have a lot of stuff, you have a lot on your mind, she says. By depleting resources quickly, we're heading down a road of economic downfall as well as environmental degradation. Consciously consuming can reduce the amount of depleting natural resources. Instead of buying that brand new cotton t-shirt that took 2,700 liters of water to produce, buy a used t-shirt or one made from recycled materials such as plastic. We need to begin to not only be conscious with material things we buy, but the food we consume and the amount of food we waste as well. Looking at the chart, we can see that animal products are at the top of the chart, using the most land to produce. Towards the bottom are mostly plant-based products. By reducing our food waste and changing our food consumption patterns to plant-based, we can increase the amount of food we can grow on Earth. We will then be able to feed the 800 million people who are currently not getting enough food to meet their nutritional needs. This is not an issue of not having enough land on Earth to feed everyone. This is an issue of how we are using the land. Ways we can practice conscious consumerism include shopping secondhand, repair your clothes, buy less but better quality, find out about the supply chain and life cycle of the products, ask brands who made the clothes, and shop fair trade and ethical brands. By being in a state of inquiry and consciously consuming, we can end hunger, save ocean lives, mitigate climate change, and live better, more satisfying lives. Thank you for listening. That's my presentation.